Speaker, I'm pleased to yield 2 minutes to my colleague and neighbor from California, Mr. Kiley.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this is a textbook example of the executive branch obstructing the oversight function of Congress. The committees of jurisdiction here have clearly set forth the legal basis for compelling disclosure of President Biden's interviews with Special Counsel Hur. Now, the administration has agreed with us inasmuch as they have produced the transcripts of those recordings. However, they have grasped wildly for some basis on which to withhold the recordings themselves. And most telling is that they've given contradictory reasons for doing so. At first, they said they weren't going to hand over the recordings because they were cumulative of the transcripts, meaning they were so similar to the transcripts that we didn't need them. But then later, they've argued that, in fact, they are so different from the transcripts that one is privileged and the other is not. When you have self-contradictory arguments being made, that is a sign that the true purpose here is obstruction. But perhaps the most absurd argument we've heard is the supposed interest asserted by the administration for withholding the recordings, that disclosing them might discourage witnesses from cooperating in future high-profile investigations. In this case, the president is not merely a witness. He is the target of an investigation by his own administration. And by the way, Special Counsel Hur testified before our committee that based on that investigation, a reasonable juror could have voted to convict President Biden. So what is the administration arguing the interest here is? That if somewhere down the line there might be another president who is subject to an investigation by his own administration, and the argument goes that if that president knows that the transcript will be released, he'll sit for the interview, but if he knows there's a chance the recording might be released, he won't cooperate. This is an absurd proposition, Mr. Speaker, certainly not sufficient to override the legitimate oversight interests of the House of Representatives. Frankly, this is not how we would like to be spending floor time, but the recalcitrance and obstruction of this administration has made it necessary. I yield back.